The Varnock Reaper-class assault cruiser, Crimson Whale, cut through space like a blade dipped in oil. It was black as the void, bristling with plasma cannons and garrisoned by a crew that had never lost a bounty. Cold-blooded killers, Galaxy-class, hunters and elite mercenaries by trade, they didn't make mistakes. Until today. Aboard the cruiser, 6 feet below the hangar deck, and behind 2 biometric security gates, a single human sat cross-legged on the grated floor of Cargo Bay 3. His wrists were bound behind his back with an energy cord that pulsed, faintly blue. His nose had been broken at least once, probably more. He was whistling, loudly, off-key. The tune wasn't alien, far from it. It was the theme to MacGyver, and he was committing to it like he was alone in the shower. Captain Gorvac, towering at 9 feet tall and built like an armored siege beast, watched the human on a cracked monitor in the command deck. His scaled lip twitched. He didn't like this. Something was wrong. There should have been 20 bodies aboard the derelict freighter they intercepted, a black market courier vessel supposedly hauling forbidden xenotech. Instead, there was a lone Earth-born male in a flight suit from a Planet 2 Spiral Arms. Away! Scan him again, Gorvac barked, flexing his thick claws. Zerth, the ship's AI liaison, a translucent floating orb with flickering glyphs, chirped in response. Species, Homo sapiens. Age, indeterminate. Body temperature, elevated but stable. Neural activity, inconsistent. Inconsistent how? It resembles the pattern of someone operating under heavy sedation or extreme boredom. Gorvac stared. What's he doing now? Still whistling. The captain turned toward his second-in-command, a bipedal crustacean with a data spike for an arm. Bring him to the interrogation chamber. 2 minutes later, 4 armored mercs entered Cargo Bay 3. The human didn't flinch. He just leaned back against the wall, eyes closed, still humming. Name, one barked. He opened one eye. You ever meet a guy named Lou? The lead mercenary looked at his squad. None replied. Lou's a good guy. Makes a killer chili. You boys hungry? The lead merc growled and hauled him to his feet. He was lighter than expected, wiry, coiled muscle, under the old Earth flight suit. The word NASA was still visible, faded across the chest patch. As they walked him down the corridor, the human looked around as if he were inspecting a hotel lobby. Real industrial vibe you got going here. Kinda Aliens meets Prison Break. Oh, is that a fusion vent? Cute. One of the mercs shoved him harder. Silence. I mean, I'd be grumpy too if I looked like a rejected Mortal Kombat boss, he muttered. In the interrogation chamber, metallic and sterile with a hovering light drone above, Captain Gorvac stood waiting. The human was tossed into a chair. A restraint field buzzed to life, locking him in place. He sighed and stretched his neck. Let's begin again, Gorvac growled. Name. Most folks call me Fuse. Is that a title? Rank? Callsign. Comes from my hobby. Blowing. Stuff up. There was a long silence. Gorvac's narrow eyes narrowed further. Explain your presence on the freighter. Its logs say 20 crew. We found one. You? Well, Fuse began, the others are kinda spread out. Spread out? You ever microwave an egg? Lot of pressure in a small space, boom, gooey mess. I wouldn't recommend checking. The ventilation shafts. Gorvac stared. Listen, Fuse said, leaning forward. You don't seem like a guy who appreciates nuance, so let me paint the picture. They tried to steal something they didn't understand. They activated it. I tried to tell them not to. They got crispy. I didn't. You're implying you survived a containment breach from a Vargax device? I'm implying I caused it, one of the mercs behind Gorvac hissed. Another took a step back. You're bluffing, Gorvac said. I don't bluff, Fuse replied, smiling. Too much effort. I prefer improvisation, like jazz or Knight Rider? Reruns, Zerth beeped sharply. Captain, I have access to data file. Human military record, partially redacted. Earth designation, Fuse. Civilian name, Mick Travers. Former explosive ordnance disposal specialist, later transferred to Black Ops Earth Division. Project Tailgate. Tailgate? Gorvak repeated. You know, Fuse said, shrugging inside the restraints. Coolers, lawn chairs, explosives. It's an American thing. Keep speaking and I'll remove your tongue. You'll just grow back another one? Fuse quipped. Do your kind do that? The captain stalked closer. Why were you left alive? Because someone needed to tell the next idiot what not to touch. Guess you're the idiot now. Zerth interrupted again, projecting a red holographic dossier over the chamber. It showed schematics of a crashed Varnock dreadnought from 3 years ago, one that exploded in a supposedly freak chain reaction. No survivors. No cause ever found. The signature-matched Earth-style sabotage. Gorvak's breathing deepened. That was you. Depends, Fuse said. Did it explode really dramatically? Like slow-motion fireball with bits of hull tumbling through vacuum? Yes. Then yeah, that was me. Used a toaster and an old Billy Joel cassette. One of the mercs actually gasped. Zerth spoke again, this time with urgency. Captain, I am detecting unauthorized subsystems coming online. Ship-wide AI loop disruptions. External sensors have begun playing Earth music over tactical feeds. What kind of music? Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Repeating. Gorvak turned back to Fuse, teeth bared. What have you done? Oh, not much, he said innocently. Maybe I whispered a few sweet nothings to your air circulation system. Maybe I rewired your ship's microwave to talk to your internal security. Drones. Maybe I fed your environmental AI a copy of Top Gun and told it to fly casual. The lights flickered. Sirens wailed. The restraint field snapped off. You shouldn't have let me near your cafeteria, Fuse added. Gorvak lunged, claws slashing, but Fuse was already moving. He ducked low, grabbing a detached restraint collar from the interrogation bench and jamming it onto Gorvak's ankle. It triggered mid-snap, locking and discharging a voltage arc. Gorvak howled and slammed into the wall. The door behind them exploded inward as a food service droid, reprogrammed and armed with cutlery, rolled in blaring danger zone at maximum volume. A fork launched from its head-mounted launcher embedded itself in a wall panel. Sparks danced. The lights died again. Fuse grabbed the nearest dropped blaster and shouted, Y'all seriously underestimated a man raised on MacGyver reruns and hot sauce! He sprinted through the door, leaving chaos behind him. The corridor pulsed red as emergency shutters closed section by section. Mercs scrambled, systems overloaded. The AI wailed. In the hangar, Fuse dove into a maintenance tube and vanished. A second later, the magnetic locks on the shuttle bay failed. One of the smaller dropships detached automatically, engines roaring to life. In the command deck, Gorvak limped in just as the dropship rocketed away, spinning mid-launch and leaving a trail of ionized fuel shaped like a crude Earth gesture. Zerth hovered beside the captain, projecting a final data point. His last known operational title per Earth's intelligence registry, Threat Class Omega. Status: excommunicated. Reasons: repeated unauthorized use of alien tech. Unconventional methods. High success rate. Extreme collateral damage, Gorvak hissed. He's not a soldier, he's a virus. Zerth blinked. Would you like to hear his unofficial Earth nickname? Gorvak said nothing. Zerth complied anyway. They call him the walking disaster. The cruiser trembled again as another subsystem went offline. The Galactic Mercenaries, the best in the quadrant, stood in silent horror as an Earth-born man with a broken smile and a head full of pop culture brought their ship to its knees with no weapons, no armor, and a smirk that said, "You were never in control." Somewhere in the drifting dark, the man called Fuse leaned back in his stolen shuttle, feet on the console, a melted Walkman in his lap. "Next stop," he muttered, cracking open a flat bottle of Earth root beer. "Tacos." The stolen dropship limped through subspace, one thruster sparking like a dying firework, internal temperature fluctuating wildly between sauna and meat locker. Fuse sat in the cockpit wrapped in a silver survival blanket, casually tapping at the navigation panel with the back of a spoon. A portable generator hummed behind him, rigged to power both the flight systems and a small hot plate currently cooking instant noodles. He wasn't worried. He'd survived worse, one time with nothing but a pack of gum, a shoelace, and a copy of Roadhouse. This wasn't survival. This was Wednesday. The ship AI, a repurposed salvage drone with a southern drawl and a broken sarcasm filter, crackled through the console speakers. "Darlin', you realize this bird's got more missing parts than a Florida pawn shop, right?" Fuse stirred the noodles. "Yeah, but she's got character, like a Chevy Nova missing its front bumper and half a carburetor. She still runs, kinda." "Where are we on the map?" the AI coughed. "We're currently between a mining colony that smells like wet socks and a derelict pleasure barge that broadcasts late-night soap operas into deep space. You got a destination in mind, sugar?" "Any place with decent shielding and zero Varnock patrols," Fuse said. "And tacos. Earth-style, not those gelatinous nightmare wraps the Zarn eat." The console beeped. "Nearest human-aligned outpost is X-Delta 4. Independent contractors, ex-military, mostly outlaws, a couple old Earth Embassy folks running communications." Fuse narrowed his eyes. "X-Delta 4? I thought that place got torched." "Half did. The half with a casino and an Elvis impersonator survived. Set course. Also, I want to be clear that if this bucket explodes, I'm haunting whoever programmed your voice." "Too late, hun. I already haunt myself." As the ship limped toward its new destination, Fuse leaned back and flipped open a battered comm unit patched together from two incompatible models. Static flickered across the screen, followed by a glitchy video feed. An aging man in an American bomber jacket appeared, sipping coffee from a cup labeled "Boom Happens." "Well, if it ain't the human firecracker himself," the man said. "Fuse, why is your face showing up on a Varnock bounty bulletin marked extremely dangerous, do not engage unless absolutely necessary, or if bored?" Fuse smirked. "Hey, General Carmack, I may have borrowed a Merc cruiser and made it dance." Carmack groaned. "You weren't supposed to be in that sector. We had a clean route for you to exfil through Iota 7. The courier job went sideways. Turned out the courier crew was smuggling a Vargax artifact. I tried to talk them out of poking it. They poked it. Then they exploded. Standard Tuesday," Carmack rubbed his temples. "You're a walking violation of 17 galactic treaties." 18 now, I think. The toaster trick pushed it. Carmack leaned forward. "Do you have any idea what kind of heat you've drawn? They pulled every bounty hunter from the core systems to hunt you down. Word is you got a price higher than the Drax Queen's missing scepter. They're calling in the Proxy Kill Syndicate." "Cute name," Fuse muttered. "Sounds like a death metal band." "They're not a band, Fuse. They're the worst of the worst. Synthetic war criminals. Brain-bonded executioners. They make your average galactic merc look like a mall cop. I've tangoed with worse." Carmack sighed. "I'm pulling in a favor. Old friend of mine runs a refit dock on X-Delta 4. Quiet place, hidden under a former pizza parlor. Land there, stay off the grid, and please try, not to explode anything. No promises. Fuse." "Yeah? Try harder." The transmission ended with a flicker. Fuse stared at the blank screen, letting the silence settle before he spun his chair back toward the control panel. X-Delta 4 loomed ahead, a fractured, half-functioning asteroid. Station cobbled together from salvage and desperation. The outer ring shimmered with kinetic shielding and solar panels patched like duct tape across broken hulls. It looked like a scrapyard with ambition. The docking procedure was manual. The AI-2 overtaxed to help. Fuse maneuvered the ship with a steady hand, honed from years of threading needle-width asteroid belts and launching from imploding atmospheres. The dropship docked with a wheeze and a loud bang. No one greeted him. That was a good sign. The stations. Corridors were dimly lit, pipes hissing and vending machines blinking out of sync. Fuse followed a trail of grease-smudged arrows and half-ripped flyers advertising karaoke knife fights every Friday, until he reached a service hatch with a keypad. He knocked once, then 3 times, then twice more. The door hissed open, revealing a woman in a grease-stained tank top, holding a plasma cutter and chewing bubble gum like it owed her money. "Travers," she said flatly. "Thought you were dead." "Nah," Fuse said, stepping inside. "Just very flammable. Saw your bounty. You're hotter than that time you tried to make chili with a thermite grenade. I maintain it was a flavor experiment." She pointed at a workbench covered in dismantled drones and parts. "Your ship's a joke." Better than a eulogy. Barely. Her name was Juno, ex-Earth Navy, once the best engineer in the fleet until a court-martial got her blacklisted. She and Fuse had history, some good, mostly explosive. She gestured toward a stool. "Sit. Talk. Don't touch anything. Especially that." She pointed at a glowing box, making suspicious noises. "It's either a quantum battery or a very angry sandwich." Fuse sat. "I need a stealth rig. Something with masking, short jump capability, nothing too flashy." "Because flashy gets you killed?" "Because flashy gets me an audience." She tapped a holopad. "I've got a prototype running cloaking on a rotating frequency array. Still burns too much juice and occasionally causes hallucinations." "Like what?" "Usually clowns. Sometimes ex-girlfriends." Fuse grimaced. "Terrifying. I'll take it." She turned serious. "Fuse, you need to disappear. You've embarrassed the Varnock, crippled their cruiser, and hijacked their pride. They're not going to let this go. You think this bounty's bad? Wait until the syndicates start. Sniffing around? I've got a plan." "You always have a plan. Your plans suck." "Yeah, but they work." She narrowed her eyes. "What's the angle this time?" "Hit them first, before they coordinate, before they turn this into a circus. Hit the ones with the biggest egos. Take out the top-tier bounty hunters. Make the rest think twice." Juno laughed. "That's not a plan. That's suicide wrapped in bravado." "I'm not aiming for survival," Fuse said, voice low now. "I'm aiming for legend." There was silence. Then a slow smirk from Juno. "You haven't changed." "Neither have you. Lucky for you, I've got just the ship. Call it my going-away gift. It's ugly, untested, and probably haunted." Fuse stood. "Perfect." An alarm blared. The screen above her desk lit up with a crimson warning. "Proxy kill signature detected." Outer ring. Juno's face dropped. "They're here. Already?" Fuse pulled a multi-tool from his belt. "Then I guess the fun starts early. Don't you dare blow up my shop. No promises." Outside, a fleet of black vessels descended on X-Delta 4 like a swarm of precision-engineered nightmares. Sleek, silent, and deadly, the proxy kill ships moved with mechanical precision. One of them opened its comms and broadcast a signal on all frequencies. "To the human-designated Fuse. Surrender, and your termination will be painless. Resist, and we will reduce this station to atoms." Juno looked at him. "You really pissed in someone's cereal, huh?" "I didn't even touch their cereal," Fuse said. "But I may have microwaved their microwave." Juno threw him a data chip. "Get to the ship. It's docked in Bay 6. I'll buy you 10 minutes." You always did have bad taste in friends. She raised an eyebrow. And worse in ex-boyfriends. He winked. Still stung by that time I replaced your shampoo with thermal paste? Run, idiot. He ran. As the warning klaxons echoed and automated turrets rotated toward the incoming ships, Fuse sprinted through the smoke-filled corridor, ducking under collapsing vents and overcharging conduits. He hit the docking bay just as the new ship, powered up, a sleek, patchwork monstrosity with a rotating hull section and a spray-painted phrase across the side. Boom Bus 2, the reboomining. He grinned. Juno always did have style. The Boom Bus 2 coasted through the void, its patched hull groaning with every micro-maneuver. Inside, Fuse leaned back in the pilot's chair, boots propped on the console, a half-eaten burrito floating nearby in zero-G. The ship's AI, now upgraded with a sarcastic British accent, chimed in. You do realize, sir, that engaging the proxy kill syndicate is tantamount to poking a sleeping dragon with a stick made of insults? Fuse smirked. Good thing I brought marshmallows. The AI sighed. Very well, plotting course to the nearest proxy kill outpost. May I suggest updating your will? Already did. Left everything to my pet cactus. As the ship altered course, Fuse reviewed the intel Juno had provided. The proxy kill syndicate operated from a mobile fortress known as the Obsidian Fang, a heavily armed dreadnought cloaked in myth and terror. Its last known coordinates placed it near the remnants of the Vega Drift, a debris field notorious for swallowing ships whole. Perfect place for a surprise visit. Fuse muttered. Upon arrival, the Boom Bus 2 slipped into the drift's shadow, its cloaking system humming softly. Fuse navigated through twisted metal and shattered hulls, remnants of battles long forgotten. The Obsidian Fang loomed ahead, its dark silhouette barely distinguishable against the backdrop of stars. Initiate docking sequence, Fuse commanded. Docking clamps engaged, the AI confirmed. I must protest, however. This is highly irregular. So is my diet. Doesn't stop me. The ship latched onto the Fang's underbelly and Fuse donned his gear. With a deep breath, he entered the airlock, the door hissing open to reveal a dimly lit corridor. He moved silently, his footsteps muffled by the ship's thick carpeting. A peculiar choice for a vessel of war. Navigating the labyrinthine halls, Fuse encountered minimal resistance. The few guards he did see were either asleep or engrossed in holographic games. He couldn't help but chuckle. So much for the galaxy's deadliest mercs. Reaching the central command, Fuse accessed the mainframe, downloading critical data and planting a virus designed to overload the ship's systems. As he worked, an alarm blared. Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Time to go, Fuse muttered, sprinting back toward his ship. He dodged security drones and leapt over obstacles, the ship's AI guiding him through the safest route. Left at the next junction, then straight ahead, the AI instructed. Got it. Reaching the Boom Bus 2, Fuse initiated the launch sequence. The ship detached from the Obsidian Fang just as explosions rocked the dreadnought. He watched from a safe distance as the once feared fortress imploded, debris scattering into the void. One down, Fuse said, a satisfied grin on his face. And several thousand to go, the AI added. Let's make some noise. The Boom Bus 2 drifted through the cosmic expanse, its patched hull a testament to resilience and defiance. Inside, Fuse reclined in the pilot's chair, a smirk playing on his lips as he reviewed the data he'd extracted from the Obsidian Fang. The ship's AI, now sporting a sarcastic British accent, interrupted his thoughts. Sir, I must inform you that our recent escapade has elevated your notoriety to unprecedented levels. The bounty on your head now rivals the GDP of a small planet. Fuse chuckled. Guess I'm finally worth my weight in credits. Indeed, and with that comes the attention of every mercenary, bounty hunter, and thrill seeker in the galaxy. Let them come. I've got plans. He set a course for the nearest outpost, a seedy station known for its black market dealings and lack of questions. As the boom bus 2 approached, its cloaking system engaged, rendering it invisible to the station's rudimentary sensors. Docking was uneventful, and Fuse disembarked, blending into the crowd of unsavory characters that populated the station. He made his way to a dimly lit bar, where he met with an old contact, a hacker named Glitch. "Fuse," Glitch greeted, his cybernetic eye whirring as it focused. "Heard you stirred up a hornet's nest." "Just another day at the office," Fuse replied. "I need information." Glitch nodded, pulling up a holographic display. "The proxy kill syndicate is in disarray. Your stunt with the Obsidian Fang disrupted their operations. They're scrambling to regroup." "Good. I want to keep them off balance." "There's more. Rumors are spreading about you. Some say you're a ghost, others a government experiment gone rogue." Fuse grinned. "Let the legends grow." He returned to the Boom Bus 2, where the AI awaited with more news. "Sir, we've intercepted communications indicating that the Syndicate is planning a counterattack. They're mobilizing their elite units. Then it's time to take the fight to them." He plotted a course to the Syndicate's central command, a heavily fortified station known as the Iron Citadel. The Boom Bus 2 approached under the cover of its cloaking system, slipping past defenses and docking undetected. Inside, Fuse navigated the labyrinthine corridors, planting explosives and sabotaging systems. He confronted the Syndicate's leader, a towering figure known as Warlord Crag. "You're the one causing all this chaos," Crag growled. "Guilty as charged," Fuse replied, detonating the explosives and escaping as the Iron Citadel erupted in flames. Back aboard the Boom Bus 2, the AI reported, "The Syndicate is in shambles. Their leadership is gone, their forces scattered." "Then our work here is done," Fuse said, setting a course for the stars. As the ship vanished into the void, tales of the human who defied the galaxy's most feared mercenaries spread, inspiring others to stand against tyranny.